Sheltered Instruction Observation Protocol, better known as the SIOP model, is a comprehensive research-based model of instruction. SIOP is our district's adopted teaching model for providing structured English immersion and supporting our students in accessing grade-level content standards, developing their academic English skills, and preparing students to be college and career ready. Lesson planning is crucial for both students and teachers' success. There is a common saying that when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When we take the time to carefully plan, we produce lessons that enable students to make connections between their own prior experiences and the new information being taught. Well-planned lessons include specific learning objectives that explain the goal for the lesson, learning activities that provide students practice for applying their new skills, and finally, strategies for assessing student learning to determine whether to move on or reinforce content. In the following video clip, you will see how a reading intervention teacher introduces the learning objective and expectations for a lesson on using text features to help with reading comprehension.
The learning objective says, Carla?
I will analyze a nonfiction text by providing textual evidence to support my conclusions.
Okay, so you're going to have to provide textual evidence to support your conclusions. Okay, so now at each, we looked at our SSR logs, we're taking care of that. Your bell work you're working on, and we're going to review that. We are going to have a quick write, Andrea, and you're going to have to tell me what textual evidence is. And not only what it is, but why is it important? Why do we waste our time providing it? It has to serve some purpose, don't you think? Okay, do all your teachers have you provide textual evidence?
Yes.
Yes, it's important. It's necessary. Okay, then we're going to read Mountain of Fire, and then we're going to work on a graphic organizer that I put at each table, but I told the person just to hold on to them because we're not using them yet.
When planning, it is not only important to identify what the students should take away from that particular lesson, but how the lesson will prepare them for college and career.
What I'd like my students to take away from this lesson particularly is how to work efficiently, how to work in teams, and how to work in a diversified agricultural facility and be able to do any aspect of the job that's at that facility rather.
The second component of SIOP is building background. Effective SIOP teachers are able to explain content in a way that all students understand, regardless of language development needs or gaps in education. This can be done by making explicit connections between new information and concepts already covered in class or from students' own experiences. When teachers help students make those connections, it ensures that all students are prepared to learn the new content. There are many ways teachers can help build background. Some include discussions, pre-teaching vocabulary, previewing passages, or concept mapping. Take a look at how the reading intervention teacher helps students form connections between what they are reading in their language arts class to the day's lesson in the reading class.
What are you reading about in your 6th grade classes right now?
Pompeii.
Which is a what?
Volcano.
Which is a volcano.
No.
Was there any connection? Did anything similar happen to them? Did it?
Yes.
Did the weather, did the volcano affect the weather?
Yes.
All right, so you already have some background information. All right, so now let's get textual evidence to support whatever you're arguing about or whatever you're researching about. Why is that useful? Why is that needed? Why is that necessary? Have you ever been in a debate? Have you ever been in an argument?
Yeah.
Yeah? And if you use some support, right, what will that help you to do? Prove your argument. It's a little bit more convincing, right? So if you can provide a reason for your answer, then it's a little bit more convincing.
Comprehensible input, the next component of SIOP, is more than showing pictures during a lesson. Students will be more successful when teachers put forth a conscious effort to make the lesson understandable. Lessons are more understandable when teachers adjust their rate of speech, enunciation, and complexity of speech based on their students' levels of English proficiency. Also, English learners at all levels, even native English speakers, perform better when the teacher provides clear expectations and instructions for activities. Instructions should be presented in a step-by-step manner and preferably modeled for them. In addition to adjusting speech and providing clear expectations, teachers can ensure their lessons and communication are comprehensible by including a variety of techniques, such as using gestures, modeling step-by-step processes, or providing manipulatives for students to contextualize new ideas. This chemistry teacher provides hands-on materials to help her students visualize the lesson's concepts.
Electricity. Actually, you have little manipulatives on your desk that, let's get those out. The same ones we used from Friday, only we're going to use all the pieces. So you have the same thing that I have up here. Okay, set up your anode and cathode. And well, you right now, we're flipping, we're putting a battery in here, and the ions are going to go where they're supposed to go. Will you move them?
With use of classroom technologies, teachers can provide ample opportunities for comprehensible input. Recording lessons or using video allows students to rewind or view media multiple times. Teachers and students can also use document cameras to model processes or instructions. Notice how this math teacher uses a document camera to model note-taking expectations for her students.
Alright, ready? Yes. So we are on the top part there, writing the equation of the line that passes through -1, 2 and 1, -4. Change in y. Let's start with that, right? So again, we're using the 2 points to find the slope, which is the change in y. So which ones are our y's here?
It's like, or 2 and -1.
Do you agree, Marcus? 2 and -4? Okay, 2 and -4. So again, our question is, how do we get from 2 to -4?
You subtract.
Subtract?
6.
Okay, and remember, if we need to, on the number line we're at 2, we're going back to -4, so we are subtracting, and it is a -6, right?
Strategies, the next component in SIOP, include techniques, methods, and mental processes that enhance comprehension for learning and retaining information. Learning strategies include cognitive, metacognitive, and language learning strategies. Studies have found that when metacognitive strategies are taught explicitly, reading comprehension is improved. To monitor and clarify their learning, this teacher takes the opportunity to encourage students to explore their questions.
We are starting on the graphing example, and what's the first step there? What does it say?
And the graph both points.
Graph both points. On your foldable, guys, this is the one that is up on the top. We're using this for both of these, okay? So we are going to start by graphing both those points. So go ahead and graph -1, +2.
Yes.
Okay, -1, +2.
Well,
Where's that going to be?
Okay,
-1,
second
+2. Right?
In order to help students retain information and gain independence, teachers should consistently use scaffolding strategies throughout a lesson and decrease support as students acquire experience. The goal is for students to become more independent in self-monitoring their own learning strategies. Common strategies include reciprocal teaching, questioning the author, pre-questioning, and using graphic organizers. In order to organize and conceptualize their learning, these students use foldables as a form of hands-on note-taking.
Okay, which one? Right here? Okay, so that goes with the same type question you had on the front.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
And you want to explain it?
I think it has elements, so it's another element.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anybody else have that question? He kept Felipe, as I was walking around, he asked, why is there 2 BR on the front side? And I says, well, ask the question, we're probably, right? And then he ended up with the same type question, only the same issue is showing up with sodium iodide. Does anybody have a question on sodium?
English language learners benefit from opportunities to use English in multiple settings across content areas. Learning is certainly more effective when students have an opportunity to participate fully, actively discussing ideas and information. Instead of teachers talking and students listening, sheltered content classes should be conducted in a way that allows students to interact in their collaborative exploration of the content. Through meaningful interaction, students can practice speaking and making themselves understood by asking and answering questions, negotiating meaning, clarifying ideas, and other techniques. Teachers can promote interaction by including a variety of grouping options which support learning objectives, ample wait time for responses, and opportunities for clarification in the student's native language when possible. When discussing the lesson's concepts, teachers should support students in going beyond simple yes and no answers. By using a variety of techniques, such as sentence frames or elaborated questioning, teachers encourage extended responses from students. Phrases such as, "Tell me more about that," "What else?" "Why is that important?" or "How do you know?" encourage students to provide more information.
Go back. We're going to take care of this one together. And we're just going to write bulleted statements. So give me one piece of textual evidence that proves that volcanoes can be destructive. Yeah, Luis?
It could block the sun's rays.
Okay, it blocks the sun's rays. Why would that be destructive?
Because it wouldn't bring higher temperatures, it would be colder temperatures.
How might that affect things?
Lessons should include multiple opportunities for students to use hands-on materials or manipulatives in order to apply content and language skills. Hands-on activities and materials enable students to forge connections between abstract and concrete concepts. Students make these connections most effectively when they are engaged in activities that integrate all language skills, such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing.
So in the mornings, we go and we collect the eggs that are fresh, and then we already weigh them and stuff, but we'll do those too. So here are 3 different sizes. We have large, extra large, small, and then we have the jumbo eggs. And these are really big. And we have medium. So when we collect them, we either hand wash them or use the egg washer, but this is like if we have a lot, and so today we didn't have a lot. And then this is the scale we use. It has small, medium, large, and extra large. So when we have an egg, I'll use a jumbo. We set it on here, and then see how it's like off the scale. We know that's jumbo.
As previously mentioned, lesson preparation is a key element with SIOP, but the delivery of that lesson is just as significant. Lesson delivery includes how well the stated learning objective is supported during the lesson, to what extent students are engaged in the lesson, and how appropriate the pace of the lesson is for the students.
Second conclusion. Read what it says. Sebastian, what does the second conclusion say?
People doubted Mount St. Helens when they built it.
What are the key words in there?
Threat.
Threat. What else?
Mount St. Helens.
Doubted.
Doubted. They doubted the threat. What does doubt mean?
That you
don't believe each other.
You don't believe?
Yeah.
Okay. And the threat, what is a threat?
Like they,
like
an enemy.
An enemy?
Or
Okay. So there were people around Mount St. Helens that thought what?
that it wasn't
yeah,
scary.
right.
That it
It
wasn't
wouldn't
scary,
harm them.
that
It wouldn't harm
It's a
them.
prank.
it wouldn't harm them.
It's a prank.
Okay. Let's look at the third one.
It is important for teachers to incorporate review and assessment into the daily lesson in order to assess student learning and effective teaching. Effective sheltered instruction involves reviewing important concepts, providing constructive feedback through clarification, and making instructional decisions based on student response. This teacher utilizes a student response system in order to review the concepts of the lesson with her students. The students are expected to solve the problems and respond individually, but they review the class's responses together, and the teacher guides them in clarifying and justifying the correct answer.
And 10 seconds. Faster, Claire. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Miguel, what happened? Okay, correct answer is 35 cents. If you forgot your decimal, be careful. Okay. So each pound is going up 35 cents. What part of the equation is that going to be?
Slope.
The slope. So we have our equation. The cost, which they're telling us is y, is equal to our 35 cents times each pound. And then what is our y-intercept? Figure out here. So how could we figure that out, Mike?
When you do your graph, like,
Okay.
it's gonna be like.
The 8 components of SIOP, while presented here as separate entities, are fluid. The strategies used by teachers often fall within the scope of several components. For example, when students use foldables, one of the strategies shown here in the videos, teachers are making content comprehensible, they're employing learning strategies, and providing practice and application for students. In addition to being fluid, the SIOP method transcends content area and grade level. While SIOP is our district's adopted research-based structured English immersion model for supporting our ELL's acquisition of English and their academic achievement, SIOP truly benefits all learners and provides a common model and language of instruction for the teachers in our district.